Yo, it's crazy, man. They had some interesting after things that I saw on that Bubba Wallace shit, man. That they had fucking. So yeah, they said they found out it was a doors grab pull, but in that location they had 1,600 bays, something like that, 1,000 some hundred bays. Only 6 of them had the door pulls, and that is the only one that was fashioned that way.
That's
so
crazy.
It's kind of like, we went with the door pull guys. Why is that the only one that looked like that? I don't know. The other ones had a bull knot, they called it.
Bulle. But it's weird that then they had pictures of that shit there in 2019. So they said that it's been up for mad fucking long, and it's like
somebody made a fucking fucked up joke, racist joke in a sport that's probably done all the time. They probably joke like that all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
that's why it probably took this long for anyone to notice it.
Right, because there's no fucking black people in that fucking like that. You know, Bubba Wallace is, you know, the only brown skinned brother in there. Yep. And they probably think he's okay because he's like, bro, got nice hair. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's light skinned. I mean?
If they had a motherfucking dark skinned dude in there, they'd be like, oh, he's different. He's different though. You know?
More aggressive.
They get funny like that, man. You know, but it's somebody made a fucked up joke. Look at that, I made a noose. I made a door for it to look like a noose. They probably thought it was a fucked up redneck joke to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, I made me a door pull out of a noose. You know what I'm saying? And they got found by some motherfuckers like, yo, man, that shit ain't funny.
Yeah.
You know? Or it could have been there from last year. And they said, hey, put Bubba in there. Lot 41 with the noose.
Put Bubba in with the noose. But and then unfortunately it also just works out way too fucking conveniently, the timing is too fucking perfect. Like those are the things that always fuck me up about everything that we talk about, you know, whether it be racial or not. Just there's so much information that we don't know what to believe, and you almost get to choose what you believe nowadays because it's like, oh my God, there's so much info.
Right.
I think I'll go with this one, you know?
It's like compelling cases can come from both sides. You know what I mean? It's like they have enough evidence where I can be like, yeah, I can see that, but I can see that too. You gotta go with your heart at that point. You know what I mean? It's like, what does my heart tell me to do? What does my gut say?
Yeah.
You know the gut feeling?
Because you got to think on the reporting too, because we could go to the same exact event and leave and tell 2 different stories of how it went. You know what I mean? Like there's, it's tough. That's like,
and that was what was great about that movie, man. I feel like I have to watch it again, and I watched a lot already, and I still think I might know it, what it meant.
What movie?
Life of Pi. Fucking love that movie, man.
I gotta watch it.
Life of Pi. Oh man, Life of Pi. P.I. That's a great movie, man.
That's the one on the cover. Dudes on the boat in the water
with the tiger.
There.
With the tiger. Yep. Yeah.
Like Mowgli.
Moog looking like Moog, but it's not a fantasy movie like that. It kind of is, but it's not. It's
You thought it was, but it wasn't.
Right, but you get to the end, you're like, huh? Wait, what? Yeah, wait, no, wait, what? Then I've watched it multiple times, and I still think I got it. I don't think I got it. It's not cut and clear.
That's the best. That's also. I'll definitely. I'll puff a doob and watch it.
Yeah, now that's a good one to doob it up to too. You be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yo, Pi, you the G. Pi.
You know what I've been. You know what I've been watching. Do you have Amazon Prime?
Yes, I do.
Have you seen The Boys?
No.
It's a superhero joint. Crip told me about it. I was talking with Crip on the Instagram because he was telling me about man. Yeah, let me go back to this because we were talking about this about the Batman shit where Michael Keaton might play Batman again.
Yes.
And but like I was saying, it's in a Flash movie, but it's in a different paradox. And that's what it is. It was based on a comic, and then they made it into an animated thing. You know how they Justice League will do like animated movies. Right. But I didn't know that they're not for kids. They do like grown up animated movies.
Oh yeah, I saw the one with what's her name, Harley Quinn. That shit was insane. She was like fucking smashing heads with hammers and shit, blood squirting like crazy shit.
Damn. Yeah, so that's when I watched the Flashpoint Paradox, which whole thing about Flash runs too fast and shit gets all fucked up, and because he tries to stop the death of his mom, so it's like the butterfly effect, and he fucks up everything else. So in this alternate universe, when you know the scene obviously in every Batman where Bruce Wayne's walking with his parents on the way home from the movie, and they get killed, right?
Yep.
In this universe, Bruce gets killed and his dad stays alive, and his dad becomes Batman.
Oh shit! No shit.
And bro, I'm gonna send you. I'll just leave it there, and I'm gonna send you the link. But what I'm saying is, they might make this movie into a live action, dope ass Justice League, and I think it could save the fucking because DC, all their movies haven't been great for.
No, they're struggling. I mean,
not
DC,
like Marvel.
Right.
Not like Marvel.
I mean, DC had it back in the day when it was like Superman from back in the day and Batman from the originals, and they were. But when fucking Marvel started hitting them, and they just wouldn't stop, man. And fucking X-Men and fucking X-Men alone. Come on, you know what I mean?
And it's tough because I was reading an article where they said they're not going to make a Superman movie right now because they don't know how to make Superman cool. And I'm like, how do you make a cool Superman movie right now? What does he do? He beats up the bad guy and saves the world. Like,
I did enjoy the Man of Steel. It was the last Superman movie I think I liked.
I'd have to watch it. I don't think
I think the Man of Steel that one was pretty good. But I was on the fence with the Batman versus Superman. Like, I liked parts of it, and then I didn't. Like, I didn't hate it as much as the people that were like big comic book connoisseurs and shit. You know what I mean? The Comic-Con guys, they get all crazy about the storyline and it doesn't add up and match. And it's not how it was. I don't like change. I didn't. I didn't like some of the parts in it of like, we're waiting for this epic fight scene, right? Because you're waiting for it the whole movie.
Yes.
Boom. You get the fucking fight. Here they go. They're banging. And he mentions his mother, and that's what stops him from ripping his face off. Like,
bro, and it's funny because that's where me and Crip were talking about that, because we were talking about and I was like, they need to make something in the future where they make fun of that. Like, you have to make fun of yourself for doing that. For you didn't kill him because both of your mom's names are Martha. Like,
why do you say that?
That was so bad.
Martha? It's his mother's name. Mine too. Really?
Oh, now we're on the same team. Let's go and fight. Like, what? Come on.
His mother's name is Martha. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. You shot kill him 2 seconds ago before you knew his mother was Martha. Like, what are you talking about?
But so me and Crip were talking and about that stuff and telling me how, this is how the movie would work. Boom. Check out some other stuff in that lane. And there's on Amazon Prime, it's called The Boys. And
it's animation?
No, it's live action, which is dope. And it's like TVMA. Like, I've already seen a penis, I've already seen titties, I've already seen like, it's wild. Wow. And all the characters are like loosely based on other characters. Like, you could like everyone's like the generic version of, you know what I mean? But this is them living in real life, and like they go into, if there's more superheroes, but then think about when there's so many superheroes that life actually settles down, and then like, what do superheroes do for fun? Like, there's these crazy sex clubs out there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
release what you motherfuckers do, right? And they shit like fucking Epstein shit.
Yep. And that's what it is. Like, there's literally there's like a camera that goes by, and you see like this little mini like Ant-Man dive into a vagina. You know what I mean? It's shit like that. It's wild, bro. I'm telling you, it's called The Boys.
Don't grow inside. Fucking comes out
for real.
Organs flying around. That's how he gets his socks off.
And to me, like, maybe not as far as The Boys goes, because this gets into some wild shit. But that's what I think DC has to do. They got to come with something a little bit more cool, you know?
It's got to be different, right? Because Marvel's kicking ass, man. I mean, Spider-Man trilogies, you think about it, man. All the Captain Americas, Thors. Like I said, X-Men alone, you know what I mean? Like, their box office, it's like in the movie game, it's like, sorry, DC. I don't know. I never even watched like fucking the Flash movie with or Daredevil. Wasn't that DC too?
Yeah. Who had
like that was I think I watched it and was like, yeah, Affleck don't fit it for me for that role, you know?
No. Who was whatchamacallit, who was fucking, I just said it. Fucking Ryan Reynolds played him.
The Deadpool.
Deadpool. Who had Deadpool? DC or
Is that DC? No, I think that's Marvel.
it might be. Let me look.
I think that is Marvel. That is Marvel because he's like in that realm of but I feel like
because he's with the X-Men and shit.
Right, yeah, because remember he had a lot of X-Men fucking shit in when he went to the house and it's like, oh, nobody ever at this house because they couldn't have the budget to put him in the movie. Kept throwing puns about it. Yeah, fucking Marvel. Once again, man, fucking Deadpool killed the game. You know, because they stick in that fucking adult humor there too. Spider-Man does it all the time. You know what I'm saying?
But this is a picture of. So, you know, like this dude here is kind of like Superman. This dude here is kind of like Snake Eyes. She's kind of like Wonder Woman. He's kind of like
Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe?
No, but it's just like they're just a random superhero, but they're all in a group together, you know?
Gotcha.
And, it's dope, man. It's, like I said, it's definitely TVMA. And there's crazy shit in there.
Out, man. I'm always looking for a good one to check out. The Boys.
Yeah.
It's your boy. Yeah, it's your boy. Hope he's home. Oh, man.
Speaking of Beyonce's dropping something on Disney Plus later in July. She's dropping like I think it's a album in visual form though, you know?
Okay. She's giving something for the people. Probably going to touch on a lot of current topics going on in the world, maybe.
Oh, yeah. It's called like Black is Better or something like that. It's fucking.
No shit. Damn, B. You know what? They gave a lot of shit. I don't know if did you hear the shit for Terry Crews? You know, a lot of shit.
Yes.
And I kind of feel for Terry because I in a sense, I get what he was saying. You know what I'm saying? He has points there, and I think people really fucking shit on him. And you know what I mean? What he was saying, it's like, yo, you know, sometimes as black people, we go through this, like, we get to decide who's black enough. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't black enough, you did this or this and that. You know, he might get some shit because his wife looks like a white chick with a tan. You know what I'm saying? Because she's biracial and shit like that, you know? But when he used the term black supremacy, but he was like, listen, black supremacy exists in Africa. Like, you know what I'm saying? What I'm telling you is like, when you look at Rwanda, there were black supremacists there that felt more supreme than other, you know, whether it was against other black people, it still felt a supremeness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, he said it's just all about if you want equal, or do you want to be supreme? You know what I mean? Do you want to be the other guy, or do you want to be equal to the guy? You know, I get what he's saying in a way, but it's like, no, Terry, if it happens to be that we become the ones on top, then who gives a fuck?
Yeah. You know I understand I liked how he put it a different way when he said, let's stick with and pay attention to and keep the focus on Black Lives Matter and not Black Lives Are Better, you know? And I was like, I like that. Like, cause I'm down with the fucking equality. Like that's what I like. But because, man, there are some people that are out there taking the shit too far, and the comedic side in me loves it. But like, listen, when you got some black cats out there walking around with their phone and they see a white woman, they're like, kneel down right now and apologize for being white. And like, they get people to do it. It's like, all right, yeah, that's, you know, it's funny for a couple times, but then that shit turns into like, whoa, what are we doing?
Somebody's doing that? That's crazy. And it's kind of like, you know, embrace.
Entire groups of people are doing that. Like they're at the marches. It's crazy. Right. But people are also doing it one-on-one. Like,
I get it. Like the guy says, everybody take a knee. Everybody take a knee. You know what I mean? And, you know, even they had cops doing it. And some of the cops, and I think, you know what, the cops I think it was in Charlottesville, North Carolina, when they first, they had met the protesters like a West Side Story, street in the street, like a gang. You know what I mean? Gang, they met up. And then the police set it off, and they took a knee first.
Yeah.
Fuck with them. And protesters was like, what?
Yeah.
And then they had everybody take a knee. So it was a solidarity. The chief got the respect, and it became a peaceful thing. You know what I mean? And
yeah, I'm down with that.
It's just a part of acknowledgement and help needed to help out. You know what I'm saying? And there's a basketball player, John Morant. He's a rookie this year from the Grizzlies. And I guess he had tweeted something, but when you're a celebrity and a superstar with basketball, he's really, he's probably going to be the rookie of the year this year. He had said something, but then he had to rehatch because he got a lot of shit about it. He was like, listen, I'm not, he said, listen, I'm not saying I'm going to fuck all cops. You know what I mean? Yeah, because I said F the police, something, whatever he had. I didn't see it. You know what I mean? But he was like, he rehatches like, listen, I'm not saying that. He said, I'm just talking about those crooked ones. He said, I got family members, I got friends. I know there's cops. I respect the ones that, that have been there throughout my life and helped me out with things even. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to be stupid to that. He said, but what I say there to this is, well, I need my good cop friends that are on these forces to do their part on their side, man. You got to wean out your bad apples. Just like you go on the other side of things. Listen, y'all, in our neighborhoods, in Chicago's and this and that, people that live in that neighborhood have to help step up to help your neighborhoods thrive, man, to not be that way. You know what I'm saying? Yep. You can't just look the other way and say, okay, I need the cops to help, but then it's the cops' fault as well. You know what I'm saying? It's like when it's certain things are happening within your community, you need more people in that community to help out, that give a shit and do something and help prevent it. And you got to kind of work with the police because they're the ones, when shit get crazy, that's who you calling. You know what I mean? When there's a shootout up the block and 3 people are shot dead, they're not calling their cousin first, they call 911.
And see, for me, that should be the type of stuff that cops deal with, not fucking pulling people over for going 10 miles an hour over the speed limit. Not for, you know what I'm saying? Like, it should be a specific thing, like that cops have to deal with.
Levels of response. How about that for a book title?
Yeah. And then even mentally, I get where it doesn't make sense, because then you, like, that job is not for a that job would not keep somebody mentally sane. It just wouldn't. Like,
it's not for everybody. You got to have somebody to, like, understand. You're dealing with problems every call out. That's all it is. You're dealing with, like, people. And
bro, listen to me now, because I want to piggyback off what you said. It's not for everybody. Why are they letting so many people do it?
Right.
Why is it so easy to get that goddamn job? Because you're right, exactly what you said. It's not for everybody. But because it's not for everybody, we shouldn't give everybody a chance to find out who's good and who's bad.
What they're going to say is, at some point, what they don't want to tell you, but what it is going to say, that's because within the police force, they believe in numbers. So in order to get numbers, we gotta look past who we're picking and choosing, but make it seem like it's picking and choosing. But there's really some people that are picking. You know what I mean? It's like, I went through a background check before when I tried to become a fireman. That was a whole process. And I went through a background check through the police department.
Yep.
And through my last name, I was one of the earlier ones, because of my ranking and on my last name, I was the very first background check for that hiring process of that year. I was the first one to go in there, and and they fucking reamed me. I'm not gonna lie, man. I got so slammed with questions because it's almost like they try to do a psych eval on me, almost. Like she was trying to see how patient I would be, I guess, with pushing my buttons.
Yep.
The officer, the female officer, she was like, it was like, oh, it said you applied for this job before. You took a test. He said, yeah, I took a test at the I forgot what the location was, at the high school. They had it at the high school in New Haven. She was like, oh yeah, I seen that. Why didn't you put where the address was? I said, I'm sorry, I didn't know at the time. She goes, oh, you couldn't take 2 minutes to look it up on your phone? You know what I mean? She goes, this is a job of detail. Something wrong with your learning? You have a learning disability? Like, she was coming at me. You know what I mean? Like, it's a job. Maybe this ain't the job for you. You have to pay attention to details. Obviously, you don't pay attention to details. Maybe this isn't for you. Like, she was, like, trying to get me to be like, you know what, bitch? You know what I mean? Like, you got to kind of think about, like, okay, you got to see it coming. Like, oh, I know what this is. I see what you're doing. And come to find out, they shut down those backgrounds that they were doing and sent out notices saying we're reorganizing them and doing them over. Too many complaints came in because the police force were giving the fire department backgrounds the way they would give a police officer background.
Yep.
So the fire department's like, hey, listen, we're not hiring police.
Yeah, don't be assholes to them.
We're hiring firemen. We need background checks, solid, check them out, and we take it from there.
Yeah.
We don't need, like they were doing crazy shit, man. I know guys that were like, one guy said from one of the other guys I knew that applied and he was going through the process, same as I was. He's like, listen, man, they went on my fucking Instagram, found a guy that I went to school with. The guy I went to school with, he's on my Instagram. I'm friends with. I knew the cat from school. He lives in Texas now.
Yeah.
And they went to his friend in Texas's page and saw that he had he was throwing up gang signs or whatever, had gang affiliations or saying shit. So they rammed him on it. Yo, you a gang affiliated? You gang? Well, this is so and so. You know him. Well, he's a gang member. Are you in that gang member? And he was like, whoa, I know a dude from school. He moved to Texas. I mean, it's just a friend on Facebook, Instagram. I wasn't like, because they have you come in. They tell you got an Instagram account or you got Facebook. Yeah. Spin around in your chair, turn on the computer right there and log in. You know what I mean? Right now. Log in and then scroll through your page. We want to look at everything. Your pictures, everything. You know what I mean? So they really they come to your house. I had them they come to your house. They look, they walk through your apartment. They look into your cabinets, your medicine cabinet. Yeah, they looked into, that's the only thing. They don't really dig into your drawers. They came, they did a sweep through my house, went into the medicine cabinet, looked in there, then left, talked to my neighbor upstairs and 2 or 3 of my neighbors on my block. They go knocking, they check all that stuff out, and I'm like, these are good methods of certain things. Like I'm looking at it like to be a cop. I understand that, but there's got to be more to something. You know what I mean? More psyche valves, more digging almost. You know what I mean?
I think it just has to be more practice. Like, a basketball player, what do? They go shoot a fucking 1,000 shots. Like,
I think
more cops need to be training. Yeah,
right.
I don't even know if cops do this. Like, do cops have like a separate setup, like somewhere for just training? Like, and if they do, are they? Yeah, but that's, man. Ooh.
But my thing is like this.
Well, apparently the academy's not working, obviously.
You know what? That's probably where they're failing at.
Yes.
Picking them in the academy. Yeah, you got a bunch of people that got through the first round, but now the academy, they're showing how to actually really do the duties of an officer and how to really handle situations. Now they're getting put in these situations and they have to handle them in an academy. Somewhere in the academy, they're looking past certain quality of people that are going to be fucked up cops. You know what I mean? Like those instructors and seeing certain things they're doing and talking to these guys, you get a good feel. There's a good feel you can get from how he's going to be. I know guys that are going to be cops, and just by their personalities, you can already tell what kind of cop they're going to be.
Yeah.
So if I can do that shit, and I'm not even supposed to be this trained professional officer that's be able to, can pay big money to be an instructor at an academy, why the fuck can't they? You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And just like you said with how that lady was talking to you in the job interview, that's what they have to practice in the academy. And they might already be doing this, but just be doing a horrible job. But they should be doing that of like, all right, we have to do this setup right now where you're going to pull over somebody and that person is going to be a fucking asshole to you. Let's see how it goes. Go. Right. And they got to run that drill. Like you got to practice just like anything else.
You got to give them some bullshit. You send them out there on a job or send them out on a thing and don't tell them that something's going to happen, but plan the thing to happen and let it be like almost like a undercover boss. You know what I mean? Like a pop-up. And see how they handle the situation. Obviously, you don't want to do something where it's going to be something that you might be lethal, but you being the person that's doing the experiment should be able to know what exactly you're going to do to not get shot. You know what I'm saying? So, and just to see if that cop responds the right way. It can go south really fast. But
I think every cop that's hired, like there should be somehow figure out how to test how far we have to go for you to pull out your gun. You know what I mean? That should be like, I don't know how, I don't know the intricacies of it, but you should be tested.
What's the statute of limitations of when do you go for that lethal force? Is it always because you think you see a gun? Are we doing it? It's always it look like a gun. That's what they're gonna run with. It look like a gun. Hey, sometimes the cell phone at night is gonna look like a gun. Anything you fucking hold in your hand at night is gonna look like a gun. You know what I'm saying? Like I could fucking flash a fucking dark ass root beer in the fucking middle of the night. If I hold it a certain way, you're gonna think it's a gun. You know what I mean? Like,
yo, you know what that just brought up? I bought a fucking, you know what I bought yesterday that I haven't done in the longest fucking time, bro? I went to the store and I bought good bread, good turkey, and good salami, and made just a bomb ass sandwich at home on the Portuguese roll. Oh, so beautiful.
I had a Portuguese roll yesterday too. I had an Italian combo.
But the crazy thing is, I haven't had it in fucking years. But I grabbed a bottle of fucking root beer, and that shit brought me back. Yo, the smell of root beer will go like memories and just flood into your fucking head.
The root beer barrels?
Yo, for real.
With those, I had to get them to at least 4 or 5 in. I had a stomach ache. Easy.
No, and those were the only candy that actually tasted like it. Like if you have watermelon candy, then you have watermelon. You're like, no. But if you had root beer candy, then root beer, you'd be like, it's the same thing. That shit was great.
It's no way around that taste flavor, man. It's like root beer, nothing. Root beer bust, nigga.
Root beer bust. That's the name of this episode. But yeah. So the Beyonce visual album that's coming out is called Black is King. And I do. So that's where I think that Terry is fucking coming from when he's saying like, there's a whole lot of language of almost black is, like I said, black is better. And
right.
So I'm personally like, I'm not rip roaring mad, but like you understand how some people get mad.
Right. There's a thing, but difference between having extreme pride and then extreme like, no, fuck that. I won't be on top. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's all he was trying to say. There's a fine line between wanting justice and equality and wanting to be on top and fuck everybody else. You know what I mean? Because just because you black don't mean that you won't do some fucked up shit to somebody. You know what I mean? Like, let's not get it twisted. It's just that in this country, it's been proven that that's how things are handled. So that's why we have that vision of that and visual, because it's like, yeah, motherfucker, we only talking about how this country has treated black people here and how it continues to go on. Like, that's what the talk is about. But let's not take away from like this fucking, you know, not every fucking white person made somebody black do a crime. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we're not going to put that book out there like that. You know what I mean? Accountability, man. That's a big word, bro. You know what I mean? And it's like black people that want the right shit is just like, there's a lot of black people like, yo, we just want accountability, man. And some fucking equality, man. And some better opportunities, man. And these are all valid things to me. You know what I mean? But if you be like, nah, fuck that, man. King, I'm on top. I'll fuck all y'all niggas. You know what I mean?
Well, it's interesting too, because as we've spoken on before, I think everything is been taken away from where it started, which was the memory of George Floyd. So like, I feel like that's hijacked now and nothing is about him anymore.
And so we moved on to statues now. It's all about monuments and statues. And, you know, with Trump going all out, he putting 10 years on the head. You get 10 years now. But he said for federal statues. So I don't know which ones are federal and which ones aren't. You know, if you do your local.
Well, I think that's one, like when we went to DC, like, bro, if somebody's trying to fuck up, you know, something like that,
you're not gonna get away with that shit in DC. It's just not. Nah. That's where the capital is, man.
It's the cap.
You got to do petitions. You got to do other things. You got to go at it a certain way. You got to make noise about it without just thinking you can go in there and bulldog the shit and just fucking rip it down. It's not gonna work.
Bulldog Jones.
Right, because you don't want to be treated that way either. Like, if, you know, when they're coming at you and they want this bulldog shit, like, oh, hold the fuck on, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We ain't gonna have a sit down about this shit. You know, I know they call for it, but it never happens. So that's why people say, well, we just gonna tear it down because they ain't listening. You know, so I get that part. But to me, it's like, I don't know, man. It's a symbolized thing, and I'm on the fence with it. Where like, it doesn't fucking anger me to know that they exist, and it sure as hell doesn't anger me to know that niggas is knocking them down, because I really don't give a shit about it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, it's just a statue, man. But what are you going for then? You know what I mean? Knock a statue down and then start a fucking some kind of program or something, you know, to educate now. You know what I mean? Like, don't if you're gonna go all the way, you know, because there's some people
now is the hard part, right?
There's some people that just want to like, yo, I want it because that's what I want. Like, if you're out there fucking tearing statues down for yourself and not for a bigger problem or a bigger issue, then, you know what I mean? What the fuck is you doing besides being greedy with it. You know what I mean? Or selfish.
Yeah, or just destructive.
Destructive. And those people are out there. We can't look past them. You know what I'm saying? Whether they're plants or whatever, there's just people that are destructive, man. It's like, look, I just want to break shit.
Yeah, and a lot of that anger is valid, which I do understand. A lot of people have anger from where they come from and just basically what's happening to them.
Right.
But
it's a thing, tough. Man. It's real. It's real in this country, man. And when it just pisses people off, when you see shit like watching the Epstein fucking documentary, and you look at these things and it's like, yo, man, how can somebody come and say something and people just look the other way and the shit's happening and you're looking the other way and pretending it's not happening, And then you wonder where the distrust comes from between like government and people and law enforcement and people. The best thing somebody was saying was like, there's a guy, man. I want to send you the clip. It was a rich white dude that bought the Whitney plantation, I think in Tennessee or somewhere. Okay. He bought it and he flipped it and turned it into a museum. And they were saying, and he said, somebody came up to him and was like, what are you, just rich white guy what do you know about, da-da-da and this and that, you know what I mean? He goes, well, maybe, because he said, something in him at some point, I forgot where he broke it down, where he became awoke about something. And it was like, when he started seeing stuff, when he bought the property and then he started looking into it, and he was like, everything there that was spoken, he was like, holy shit. It made him feel like, my part, he said, well, you're coming at me for being the rich white guy doing this. He goes, well, what about looking at me as the rich white guy that's trying to right a wrong? You know what I mean? For the other rich white guys like me that were doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was a really like key thing to say. Like, look, I'm a rich white dude that I'm doing something that if you would have went back in the day, the rich white guy would have been doing the opposite. He would have been fucking owning slaves. So I'm the rich white guy that's trying to like now educate people on some shit. And he fucking put $8 million into this fucking place, man, to make it into like a whole like walk-through museum and keep it all like, natural, raw, authentic of what the fuck it was, man. You know what I mean? It's a teaching place. You know what I mean? It's like, it's bad images, bad that, but he turned it into a teaching place. You take the wrong and make it right. Because I really fucking dug that kind of way and putting that out there like that. You know what I mean?
And like you said, you show what actually happened, because now what we're going through is there's a couple of things where people are self-canceling. They're canceling themselves. Like before anybody else gets to them, they're doing things where like, I've done a whole lot wrong. Holy shit. And there's what was the other side? And just a lot of things are getting canceled in general. Like now every TV show that ever had anybody putting any type of darkening on their face, they're deleting the episodes. They're like, bro, they deleted an old fucking Golden Girls episode. Right. Because they had mud masks on and somebody made a comment, and it's just like,
look like blackface. I think,
how we were talking about the overcorrection on both sides, to where it's like, oh my God, now get rid of this, now get rid of this, get rid of this, and everybody kneel down and say that you're sorry for being white. And then I think we're going to go into, we don't want to get rid of the proof that it was there at one point. You know what I mean? Right. Because you still want those little pillars in place. And I don't mean the monuments and anything like that. I'm talking about like a TV show was made. Like,
so like now, concentration camps are still, they're museums over there. And he said he saw that. And that was funny. You know what he said, man? That was really fucking key, man. And I thought about it, and what he was saying, he was like, you know what? He goes, in Germany, they're ashamed of what they did. You know what they did? And they fucking banned those swastikas, and they turned every concentration camp, every one of them, into a fucking museum. You know what I mean? And they're ashamed of this shit, and they admit they're ashamed of it. This country has yet to do that shit. And he said, I think what it is, we haven't really done that here. Like, as far as when you say the country, the powers that be, we're talking about. The people that call the shots, the people that run, the people that have the power to change things and do things, almost kind of, we'll just give you things. Look, all right, you happy now? Like, that's the approach they have. We'll give you opportunities. Okay, we'll make it, we'll do this affirmative action thing. All right, you happy now? Like, you know, how about you show a little fucking empathy, man, towards what the fuck really happened and what really went on. Yeah. And I mean, the Germans, they're still paid. They paid all the fucking survivors to the Holocaust, man. The people that lived, that German government fucking paid out, man. You know what I mean? They paid out all the fucking, the money towards what the fuck they did. You know what I mean?
You know
So
why? You know why
tried
our
to make it
country?
right.
You know why our country won't apologize? Because we hired all the top fucking scientists from Germany and brought them over here, and they made fucking NASA. So we kind of got like, we have a fucked up moral compass, you know? And so I don't even think that our country sees it. And even how you're saying, yes, there's the uppers, but there's also a lot of people that live in our fucking country that don't see that shit as wrong and still want it, you know? Like,
I mean, how many fucking millionaires were made off of slavery, man? Like, think about it. Like,
Yeah.
generational wealth was made off that shit. It's like,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? You know, how can you stand next to a body that you hung from a tree just because you said it was the thing to do? You said you were the judge, you were the officer, the detective, the judge, the fucking examiner. You were all that
bailiff.
shit. And became the executioner. And then you took pictures of it with the town and people bought tickets and shit. And then got away with the shit.
How you were saying about how we don't just own up to it, there are certain things like when you realize that the KKK is not a terrorist group, and you're just like, how are they not a terrorist group? You know? And I think that's just because we haven't owned up to our bullshit. We just haven't owned up.
There's good people over there. He said they're walking around with fucking Nazi signs saying Jews will not replace us, and you're saying there's good people over there.
Dude, what did you see about his man? Trump has fallen the fuck off. Did you see when he tweeted the video on his site and it was a dude yelling white power? Like, what the fuck?
I didn't even see that. I was just seeing the support. How can you not? It's the prominent voice screaming white power.
Yeah, like you didn't see it yet. Everybody else saw it. Yo, and it's not a fucking voice off the screen. It's a person in the video yelling it.
And he's yelling to the first person camera that you're looking through.
Yeah, celebrating.
The person that was recording it, he said it right towards it, and it caught it like his mouth, and like he said it backwards to somebody kind of to the side, but facing right at that camera that caught it. And you,
dude, that confused the fuck out of me. Like I was like, what the fuck? Like those are the times when you at least have to come out and just be like, holy shit, I only saw it, I didn't hear the audio. Like you need to apologize. Like those are moments where you need to be like, oh my god, I fucked up, my bad, holy shit, I'm so sorry. I wouldn't. But
tell him to take it down. One of his black staff members said, hello, you guys, nobody wants to, our fucking president here that I'm supposed to be backing up. You know what I mean? I'm probably a black Republican, and it was all good.
They said,
like, I'm losing faith.
They said it took 3 hours to fucking get him to do it because I guess he was golfing and didn't have his phone. Like, this dude is fucking up under the pressure, man.
And I mean, at that point, man, it's like just vote for whoever he's going against. Dude, you know what I mean? It's just you just can't see that kind of person, man. He put a lot of fucking tension in his country too, man. It's not like to say those people didn't exist, but he gave those motherfuckers some gain wave, man, where they're like, yeah, we can come out now. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like I'm glad to see it, you know, because it's to know it exists. You know what I mean? And know those fucking people are there hiding.
I think it's better.
Trump was enough with a blessing to pull them out. So now people see it, and now people are starting to come in abundances. Like, oh fuck that, we got to come together and stop all these motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Xfinity, what is it? Xfinity War, man. Infinity War. There you go.
Xfinity War. You don't know.
Xfinity, the fucking cable.
Yo, but it is just fucking madness in the streets these days. Like, I don't know, man. It's
Seattle. I don't even know what Seattle, if they still have the chop zone or not. I haven't even looked up.
It got taken down today.
Today's the day?
Yeah, it got taken down today.
Ooh, military?
I'm not sure. I just saw, like, I got the notification on my phone. I didn't even look into the story at all yet.
Chopped? You've been chopped. You know,
yeah, exactly. You've been chopped.
It's my show, dude.
Why does everybody on that show have fucking cancer, though, dude? Like, can't somebody just like cooking? Like, oh, yeah, my father's about to die, so I'm just trying to win Chop to make him smile one more time before he passes away.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here.
Did you see that last video, one of the last ones with the girls that, the two girls that were in the car, the cop, they tried to rehatch it because the cop put the gun to him. He's like, don't move. The girls that, they were in a stolen car. It was reported stolen.
Chopped?
No. Not.
I know.
Nah, I hop back into a different story. I'm all over the fucking place. The two girls that the cop, and she was saying, she was like, he pointing a gun at my head right now, you know, because they pointed. It's their protocol of a stolen car.
Got to stop pulling out guns for no reason.
I know. It's like there's 2 females in the car. And the car's reported stolen. And you didn't give no direction for him to get out the car. He had the gun to him until the backup came. You know what I'm saying? And she's freaking out. So she's got the cell phone up, going Facebook Live, you know, doing the whole, but why is you doing that? And, you know, but it's like, when she was coming out getting all crazy, it's like, you got to understand that why, you know what I mean? She had a gun pointed at her, man. That's not fucking easy for everybody. You know what I mean? Whether she knew it was a stolen car and was pretending to be stupid or whatever, but these are young women that you wouldn't think are going to like put their life in that kind of jeopardy to reach for something knowing he got the drop on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
it's like,
I don't understand why anyone ever is expected to be calm when they have a gun pointed at them. That's not something that we go through often, if ever.
Right. Well, I gave you orders and I put my gun out. You know what that meant? That meant I'm going to shit a brick right now and I'm probably going to try to run because a gun's pointed at me. I'm going to fucking probably do one of these dip and duck and shit. Like, I don't know. You'll put that fucking barrel out my face.
Yeah. It's going to be tough.
It's, you know, and it's always, and my man Shannon Sharp always says, you know what, you always say, oh, this person's never been in that situation. He don't know what to do. He goes, nobody's ever known what to do in those fucking situations until they go through them. You know what I'm saying? He didn't cuss, but you know what I mean? It was just like, in other words, like, you never know how you're going to react to a certain situation until you go through it. How can somebody know they're going to be calm when a gun's in their face if they never had a gun in their face?
Yeah. And that's why the cops should be so trained in that area to know how to de-escalate, because the cops should have gone through it so many times that it should be fucking, okay, we know what to do in these situations. What's happening is that this person their body is going nuts because I have a gun pointed at them. So now we should know how to de-escalate that and not pull a fucking trigger.
Right.
And if you are going to pull a trigger, what happened to the goddamn leg shot? I've talked about it before. What happened to the goddamn leg shot?
They're trained that they're shooting to kill, man. If they're trained that anytime, and that's what maybe that's part of what it is. They got to stop training that certain way. Anytime you discharge your firearm, it's going to be because your life's at risk. So that means you're aiming to kill. So they're training them like you're shooting chest and head, man. You know what I mean? Because you're firing your pistol. That means you felt as though your life was at risk. That's why you're doing that. So that's why they give them the go to fucking pin cushion somebody up with bullets, riddle them with bullets. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, you know, he's like, he's down. Like, you think the fucking 6 of you just unloaded your whole clip into him.
Exactly.
I think he's down. And then they fucking, show me your hand. Show me. I don't understand that one. You know, when they scream to show me your hands after riddling his car with bullets.
Yeah.
You know? And they go, well, you know, he could still have a gun on him. He still could be armed. I'm like, yeah, but even when the guy's shot and he's fucking agonizing pain and you're putting him in handcuffs, what is that doing? Why are you putting a guy that is bleeding out in handcuffs? You think that everybody that's like bleeding out like that's thinking only if I can get to this ankle fucking boot fucking gun I got to fucking shoot these guys with my last breath like a movie. You know, like a movie.
Yeah.
Time. You know, he's hurting, man. You guys just fucking shot him 6-8 times. I don't think he's reaching for anything.
I know, but then because I think they always go for that. Well, what if that one fucking moment? It's a mess. Like we said, it's a fucking
tough
mess.
decision. I get it. It's a tough decision to if you're doing it, you're pulling out pulling out your gun at the right time. I get it. It's a tough decision. It's not for everybody, but
I think it should not be a job to fall back on, and that's what I think. What it's kind of like. Some of these people try to do the thing that they want to do in their life, maybe because they know they can fall back on being a cop, or it's a kid that got picked on, or is it like it doesn't? It's not it's not looked at as a position of just like that's dope that you're good enough to be a cop. It's just it's like, hey, well, I mean, you could be a cop. Fucking, what is it? You know,
when I was going through that fire department phase of trying to get involved with all that, and I would talk to a couple of officers I saw, whatever, I chop it up with them a second. I don't look at them and be like, fuck you motherfuckers. I hate them. You know what I mean? Like, not all, like I said, I get a benefit of doubt or say something or talking bullshit with them and check the personality. You can get a vibe. Like I said, it's just a vibe. It's a vibe. You know what I mean? You can get a vibe from an asshole cop. Trust me. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You try small talk with the guy. If he gives you kind of certain kind of answers or short, choppy, and it's very like non-personable, you know what kind of cop he is in a sense. You know what I mean?
You can tell when someone wants you to stop talking. Yes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. So when I was talking to a couple cops I ran into, and they were like, "Oh, you gonna do the fireman?" He said, "That's the move, man. If I had to go back, I would. That's what I would have did, man. That's the move, man. No bullshit." And it's like there's guys now that are police officers that are saying that I wish I never became a cop. That's not a good look to be on a force, man.
And that's not the person that you want to come and help you and save your life.
No,
that's
man,
not the person that. Oh.
He's gonna leave you fucking. He's gonna be like, I don't want to do the paperwork on this shit, so he gonna have to bleed out or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, or I'm not going for that call. I don't want to deal with this shit. Something like that, or just. I understand it's got to be a painstaking job, but if that's at the end of the day and the beginning of the night, that's what the fuck you signed up for, man.
Yeah, and that's what I think needs to be realized is what you are signing up for.
Right.
Because you're not signing up for, man, well, I could just do this for 20 years, then retire, you know?
If you're becoming a cop because you want your badge to be a pussy magnet, it's not the move, daddy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's guys I know cats out there like that because they're trying to,
you want that P-mag?
Maybe they didn't get the girls in high school, and now all of a sudden they hit weights, they got a little buff, they're in shape, they become a cop, they got, now you're getting good money. You know what I mean? A single guy, good money, he's a cop, he's in uniform. Ladies like that uniform look, so it's a no-brainer, you know what I mean? Oh my God, he keeps himself safe, he's a police officer. You know what I mean?
But one of the things that does scare the shit out of me about, for women that are women, and I know if I was a woman, I'd be, like, a cop will pull over a girl to hit on her. Like, that's abuse of power. Holy shit.
Levels, man. Levels of insanity, bro. It's fucking, oh yeah, let me pull you over and tell you how pretty you are. It's like, oh my God. It's like, and I can't tell you how many women there's not one, I can't say there's not one, but of the majority of women I've asked before of that question of, have you ever gotten out of a situation by batting your eyes and doing the whole sweet girl thing? And I get a whole lot of yeses, man. I get a whole, officer, and doing the whole batting the eyes. I'm so sorry they do the, it's a charming thing. Come on, ladies. Ladies know what y'all can do. When y'all ready to turn that thing on, motherfucking guys are stupid enough to be, okay, you gonna show me a little shoulder? You know what I'm saying? Especially if you get a young cop, he come out there all fucking fresh, looking like he fresh out of college and shit, smooth baby face. They automatically know he probably single. Let me just work.
Well, and that there's cops that they get off on that little power exchange of like, I know you're acting this way because of who I am right now. Because of this power dynamic.
Because it's their own reality sense of being a celebrity. You know what I mean? It's like, this is what a celebrity feel like. People
bro, I've said it to you before. You can always tell who's a complete psychopath by how they react to their birthday on Facebook. Because you see some motherfuckers that will go into a full like, oh, thank you, my children, for coming here and wishing me the best upon my birthday. I appreciate it so much. I'd like to thank you all again in the speech. Like, there's way too many fucking and
there's a thing too.
Today.
This is cat I know. He's a cool dude. I don't have no personal qualms with him, but I know. But he does this thing out here. It's called his initials to his name, the TP Day. He calls it TP Day, and he does this big barbecue picnic or whatever for his birthday. But everybody come. He does it for everybody coming. But it's like, you going to TP Day? I'm like, oh, we're making it a thing now.
yeah.
Like, I don't know. It kind of almost feels egotistical a little bit to me. I don't know.
Yep. No, I hear you. And
if you're throwing an annual celebration, just throw it for people to have a good time. Or you're throwing it because it's because it's me, my birthday. Make sure you bring my birthday gift.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a cool dude. I ain't got no beef with him, but it's just for me personally, I couldn't do nothing like that.
Yeah. I feel you. There's a weird feeling whenever I see anybody post like it's my birthday today. Like, oof, it's just fucking weird to me. But hey, got their own, Yo, but the chop, yeah, man, they took it down just like 3 hours ago.
Wow, no more chop.
Yeah.
Chopless.
Yo, look at this fucking picture. I'm sorry if you're just listening to this. Look up some pictures of the chop. I'm on CNN right now. Do you see that pic? That's all. Yo, what did Will Smith say? Then like, boom, black suits fill the room up. Woo.
Yeah,
brought in some.
They brought in heavy artillery, heavy infantry, I should say.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say numbers as well. Commanders have issued a dispersal order and ordinance with the mayor's emergency order. All protesters are being asked to leave immediate area within 8 minutes. They walked up on them like, you got 8, dog. 8 is enough. Safe exits to the south and to the west.
I mean, what took so long though? Why? I don't understand. Like,
I feel you. I don't know why they let it go on.
Could they not have done this before, or did they have to look for a loophole to make it okay to do?
You know what? To be honest with you, I think it was in the area of like, hey, maybe they'll just tire themselves out and go home. You know, like on some like before. We don't want to come in and steamroll these motherfuckers.
Well, I think what a lot too was a lot of complaints from the people neighborhooding that chop zone. Because I seen a lot.
Imagine if you work in there, like what?
Right,
the fuck?
people were complaining. They were like, "Listen, you know, I'm like, I got to work in the morning. There's concerts going on at 2 a.m, 3. You know what I mean? In the streets. You know what I mean? You know, because people gotta understand too when they get into that flow of feeling like, yo, this is like a cop-free zone. That can be very dangerous, man, for somebody that's like, yo, we on some fuck the police shit. I'm out here trying to rape people. Like, you know what I mean? Like he could mingle. He could be in there mingling with people that are trying to do right. You know, you gotta.
I'm sorry. To answer your question, yes, 2 fucking 16-year-old and a 14-year-old got shot yesterday. That's why they shut it down. Fuck, I forgot that completely.
Oh, no shit.
Yep. But as you see, they just went in and mashed.
It was a fucking plant. That's what conspiracy theorists will say.
I know.
Or
everybody.
Is it a conspiracy theorist, or when you got places where people know there's no crime, it's gonna lure people that want to do no good, man. It's just.
I think. Yeah, exactly.
Everybody in there is about the good shit, man. They got to remember that. There's somebody creeping around in that motherfucker that's trying to do some bad shit.
Yeah, it's not all hand holding and, oh my God, the police aren't here. There's also motherfuckers like, yo, strap up, the fucking police aren't here. Let's go get some, you know?
Right. You know, some people want the chaos, man.
Yeah.
What was it? What was the shit I said last time? The fucking shouting for chaos.
Shouting for chaos. Now coming to the stage.
Oh, man. Well, what was the one I saw? I don't know how long ago this story was with the fucking lady. Because you know this barbecue Becky?
Yeah.
And there was this lady. She was the, oh, God, what they fucking called her? She was the one that made the big scene about it and called the police because the 8-year-old girls were selling water to try to go to Disney.
Did you see the new one about the lemonade stand? Where some fucking Karen, you know, some fucking nosy motherfucker did the whole walked up on some like, well, do you have a permit? Blah, 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 blah. They got a permit. And through the story of getting a permit, this shit breaks out. Now they got lines down the block just selling the fucking lemonade. Now they're making some money. All because this fucking nosy ass lady got in their business, try to shut them down. And they're like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna go get a permit. Yes, let's do this.
You know, and I'm glad I didn't run into that. And I'm kind of in a town where there are people that kind of I think linger through here that still have that kind of mentality.
Yeah.
It's pretty diverse here, but you know, it's still you still got the specks. We'll call it specks.
Yo, old people still exist.
Right. Right. They're out here and it's like, well, I'll be damned if they're gonna be out. You know, because there are people that are going to do it towards a race thing, and then you also have people that are just fucking just people that are just fucking nosy, and they feel like they have to have justice everywhere in the streets.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And they're the law.
Are you doing that legally? Is that legal? Are you sure?
Right.
You have proper paperwork?
Right. You know what I mean? But the whole thing is like, she's coming at these little girls, and what do you do when you make that whole big thing, and then the mother made her feel stupid? She said, look, she's coming. My kids are trying to fucking, you know, legitly get money here, raise it to go to Florida,
Yeah.
And so the whole outcome was Disney was like, send them trips, all of them, the whole family. Y'all coming to Disney, cut that out. You know what I mean? It's like, because you do, you know, and people are like, I'm getting death threats now. But mind your fucking business. Maybe you should have learned from this.
Yeah.
It's not your job to police 8-year-olds selling water. Come on, man. What the fuck is we doing?
Why are you shutting it down? Like either go buy one or go home. Who gives a fuck? Like, what are you doing?
Your energy that you want to save the world and actually put that shit towards something that means something. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, put it towards something that means something. That's a t-shirt right there for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Towards something that means something.
Right. You out here fucking throwing wood chips in a fire that ain't even going. Cut it out.
This man is writing raps live on the air right now.
These free bars for you niggas, man. You know what I mean? It's just,
No, man. So how do you feel about the whole Corona situation now, where it seems now cases are skyrocketing, but it seems like people aren't dying?
they're not.
Right?
And it's weird. It's spiking, but the death count hasn't been shown like it was
Yeah.
for us, at least in the epicenter of New York and
The
here in
new case
Connecticut.
count is the new joint. The new case count.
Right. Well, according to our president, we won't get any more cases if people stop testing. What?
That's it.
No more tests.
That's bars
no more
right there.
Bye bye. Like that's what we're doing now.
That's like, can you believe like our president just hit us with a dad joke of like,
right? Like, Dad, that's not even funny. Like that nigga's running our country, bro.
for real.
That's like, huh? Yo, the
like,
one.
and like the tweet that we saw, that now a bunch of people have posted already. Like, our country is so fucking ghetto. We got a president with a warrant, you know. Like, and even my boy Cheddar, he posted a even longer one today. That's something like, look at our president. He has like 5 kids by 3 wives, blah blah, and he has a warrant. And you're like,
a little bio on him. It's like, how clean is this guy? And y'all want to fuck with Obama over a damn birth certificate? Come on, man.
Well, then we saw too. Iran put up the fucking arrest warrant, which I don't even know how that works.
You got to prove something. What are we gonna just hand over the president? How does that work? We ain't gonna hand a nigga over.
No, I don't think so.
I ain't never seen no shit like that. Like, I mean, we force other motherfuckers to hand over their leaders though.
we know plenty of people with arrest warrants that don't get fucking talked to. So Trump could just leave it alone and ignore it.
You know, it's kind of like, hold on,
he don't got to apply for another job.
You put an arrest warrant on the president. So if he says "fuck you," y'all gonna come over here and get him? Like,
yeah,
you're gonna go to war, and it's not going. How does that?
Or
work?
is it just all right? Trump just doesn't go to Iran for the rest of his life. I think he'll be okay.
They don't have right. He just doesn't go to Iran. You niggas is cut off, and it's gonna hurt your economy. So, what are we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? You need the American dollar, unfortunately.
Yo, I'm hoping that we start making stuff back in this country, though. I think it'll be. I think I've said it a couple of times, but man, I hope that that's our future. You know, like if this is a big change,
right, bro. I couldn't even get garlic. I was gonna say even like I went to the grocery store during this pandemic, and the guy was like, "Yo, you don't have garlic bulbs like the ones that come in a little pack?" He goes, "Nah, our garlic we're scarce. We get most of them in China." I'm like, "Why the fuck do I gotta go to China to get garlic, man?" Like.
Right? It's easy to grow.
Right. Garlic is like, man, you could probably get a fucking field right up the street from your house.
Yeah. Well, and it's wild too, because I'm watching this documentary, America, This Is Us, something like that, where because I've always been light on information about how our country was formed, and I want to learn more about it, so I'm trying to watch more stuff about that. And we used to kick ass with exports. Like, we had so much tobacco in the country, and we were kicking ass, and then we went more into a business mode versus a
agricultural kind of.
We tried to do the thing where we work smarter, not harder. But I think when it comes to the country, sometimes you have to work harder to keep your country, instead of like, we could do it the smart way where we can have China make it for 50 cents a piece.
Right.
But if we make it at home for $1 a piece, you know what? We know that we got it home. Because like what happened now with everyone getting sick and shit, we make all our medicine over in China. So now they're not sending us our fucking medicine because everything's fucked up everywhere. But if we made it here, we could still make it here, you know? And now that we import too much, we got to start making shit here again for if this happens again.
It's tough because, like you said, we're a corner cutting country.
Yes.
Corner cutting.
Get deep on it, dude. Take the turn. Take that right turn.
You can't even say it 3 times. I'm trying to say it once, nigga.
Exactly.
Corner cutting country. Like, yo, let's cut it short. Boom, get in there. What? Yep. You got it for 10 cents? I can get it for 2 across seas. Fuck it. Pay for the shipping. You can do all that. Get in containers. It's insane, man. You know, I always think about that too, and I look at about the wealthy, and you know, you go back in the times of how this country thrived, man, and it was off the backs of somebody else, man. Somehow, you know what I mean? You took it back from the early natives. You know, you had to, hey, teach us the land real quick that you live on, then we're gonna kill all you.
Oh, and that's dope too. Speaking of that, the Indians, how they taught the fucking settlers because we didn't know how to fuck with sand, and the Indians showed us how to plant plants and different crops inside of sand. And what you do, if you ever need this info, you put it in a fucking fish head, then you put it in the sand, and the shit works. That shit blew my mind.
You put the fucking plant in the fish head and put it in the ground?
Yeah, like if you're trying to grow crops in the sand, you start the seeds or whatever in a fish head, then plant that, and it'll grow out of it. Because whatever the combination does,
that
crazy. Shit blew my mind.
The natives, man, they knew their shit about this land. They knew these things, man, in and out, and that's what those European settlers, man, they were fascinated. The fascinated duplicators. You know what I'm saying? Of just, ooh.
Bro, we've never had a connective. We've never had a rap name for just me and you. But let me tell you, whatever the fuck you just said, that's what I wanted to be.
Fascinator communicator. What is it?
Fascinating duplicators.
Fascinating duplicators.
Yo, fascinated duplicators, dog. Rep that FD.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. It's like they saw the shit like, oh man, that's nice. That's nice. But I like it enough to want it. Like, and I don't want you to have it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's fucked up, man.
It's so nice. I only want to have it,
Right? It's like, thank you for showing me now. Kick rocks, motherfucker. Way over there. Keep going. Oh, Alaska? You got it. That's your spot. That's where you can reside. That's why the most people that look so close to it are usually the Eskimos, and then you got the Spaniards came and just fucking took over a bunch of shit too. You think about that, man. It's like the Spanish would really want it over here too, because they was right there fighting all through that. They got Mexico and all that shit down in South America. Mm-hmm. The Spaniards did that, man. You know what I mean? They, Spain was a motherfucker, man. And it's funny because you look at some of the biggest powerhouses like that, and they weren't the biggest countries in the world. No. Like when Rome was the shit, the Roman Empire, you look at how big Rome was compared to the size of like a fucking, Africa continent. Like, how the fuck can you niggas from that size of a motherfucking country come over to a country that's so fucking vast and full with millions of people, and they just let you do the shit? But, you come with the right artillery and shit and put fear in people and kill people.
Yep.
You're here to fight back, man. You know what I mean?
And it is insane that we've never had to deal with that in our country, because like that I've tried to think about it too, but almost like my brain breaks when I think about like, yo, would I still go to work? You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, if there was war around here, like would I still go to work and then just like maybe drive home and be like, oh shit, and drive another? Like it doesn't even make sense to me, Right. Like is there just gonna be like soldiers down I-95, and then I don't even understand it. Like, it doesn't
your supplies that get dropped into your drop zone in your neighborhood.
Right.
We'll drop food off in your neighborhood. You go over there, you fucking get it off of pallets. You go back to your homes. They're gonna be quarantined in your home unless you're gonna get into a fight in the streets. Yeah. That's insane. I mean, the only time probably something like, I mean, even the Civil War wasn't like that. Like we said, the Civil War was like, we hate you motherfuckers. We want to kill you. We want to kill you too. Hey, we're gonna get up together. We're gonna meet in a field. About 30 yards away, and we'll just fucking shoot at each other, and the last man standing wins.
Dude, I've been watching some stuff on the Civil War too, and half the time they didn't even know who was the enemy because not enough motherfuckers had uniforms. So they didn't even know, like, damn, is that dude with us or not? Right. Like, they didn't even fucking know.
How many friendly fire casualties they had, right?
Yeah.
they never accounted.
Pat Tillman, that fucking PT.
Right. It's like, how many friendly fire? I don't know. Hey, but let's give a quick shout out to what's her name? Is it Neil's her last name?
Oh, I believe it might be Stephanie.
Stephanie Neil.
Stephanie
Neil, who we got to reach out to. She left a message for us on the hotline about the Harlem Hellfighters, and she sent the website and a phone number that she wants to say some things. So shout out to her. We're going to contact her and try to get her to say a couple things about the Hellfighters documentary we talked about. So I almost feel like that sounds like a new family member I met recently, but I'm not sure because I only met him like once. And I did kind of share what the podcast and everything and whatnot.
Nice.
But listen, all I know is if I start crying because that's a family member trying to tell me I got a family member that was a Harlem Help, I don't know my biological father's side of the family, bro. I'm thinking crazy. I don't know my father's side of the family like that. I just now started learning. Like I just learned that my great grandfather was a twin. You know what I'm saying? Out of the brothers.
Shit.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh shit. I these are things I'm all just learning, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There were some musicians in it, so they're like music ran in the family then too. And then I'm like, Harlem Hellfighters were fucking musicians that fought in the war. If I fucking hear some shit about that, I might headbutt my phone until I'm unconscious. But that was a weird passing thought. Like I'd be a fucking psychic and a half if that shit was something that I just talked in fruition. Because this is totally, I don't know that person. I'm like, I've met some of the people I met, but that's not the name I remember. As far as I gotta look back into some of my Marco Polos. That's how they communicate a lot. But nah, man, shout out to her, man, for chiming in and wanting to give some information about something we talked about. So that's cool.
I wonder if they have a situation here where you could like it'd be dope if you could call somebody from this app, like if you could
click in the call. Yo, about to click you in. Yo, Neil.
Click in the call.
Clicked you in the call real quick. It's crazy. What's going on? It's a substantial amount. It's substantial.
That shit is amazing. But yeah, for anybody that's out there, definitely check out the docs with Fat Cat that we've been doing. Just watching different documentaries on different things, one new subject each week. It's a nice, like, it's almost like our own little book club, what we should do is we should put the shit out on our page and then fucking see if anybody else will watch it, and then maybe that'll help them too. Maybe they've already watched the documentary that they hear us review, so we should start doing that, like put out on our page like, hey, we're watching this week and then we're going to talk about it on Wednesday.
Right. Shout out to them for that type shit. You know what I'm saying? Watching your doc is going to bring light to our eyes, and we can share with with the world on the web, dark world web.
Keep it wide.
World Wide Web, dark web.
Yo, actually, hold on. Let me see. Let's sign off real quick, and then maybe we'll try to give this lady a call. So this has been Watermelon vs. Punkin Podcast.
And shout out to 4th of July is coming, y'all. So y'all be safe out there with all the fireworks. That's not happening. But people have a lot of fireworks right now, and it's okay to be patriotic about this country because there's a lot of things you love about this country. So don't hate all of it. Just hate the part you hate and embrace the part you embrace. And we out here, man. 4th of July, what it means to you. Be patriotic to your loved ones, your family, and your community. You know what I'm saying?
Bronx, Staten, Queens.
Rock.